When I was driving to work this morning, I was listening to another radio station, as we broadcasters sometimes do. What I heard shocked and saddened me.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They're here, nerds.
Wait, is this the group that goes around mutilating squirrels?
You just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with.
Well, at least we found them.
Fortuitous, Captain. And now that we have them all together,
you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They make one person go, blah, 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 and the other person go, what are you talking about? And then one person goes, blah, 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 blah.
Hey, welcome into it. Welcome into the Entertainment Roundtable here on this weekend where everything kind of gets messed up a little bit. Usually we kick off the weekend and our programming Saturday morning at 5 a.m. Yeah, we're being preempted in that time slot. But you will be able to hear us on our regular Saturday evening slot, 7 p.m. So join us then, please. And welcome into the show. I am Steve West, Jeff, the host, and board op.
Hi,
extraordinaire.
Steve.
How is you?
Oh, man, doing great.
Fantastical. We've got on the phone Jacob, and are you awake?
At this point, yes. Lots of caffeine at this point.
I understand. As we record this on Friday, both Jacob and I, well, let's just say that we had a very limited amount of sleep because we went to go watch the first showing of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I got plenty.
I was about to say, one of you got limited sleep.
Yeah, really. I got limited sleep. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but it was a 10 p.m. showing. So let's just say it was rather late. And then we got Ryan on the phone. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Steve. I've not seen any apes on horses here in Maryland, but I should be spotting them tomorrow.
Well, we look forward to hearing what you have to think about it coming up next week's show. On the way, joining us in progress as they can will be Josh and David, so it'll be a full house for us. By the time the show is over, all things being equal. So let's get into it here. We got a lot of movie news. We got a lot of TV news, so we're just going to kind of run through this segment really, really quickly here, give you an idea of what's going on in the world. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Entertainment Roundtable, facebook.com/Entertainment Roundtable, and all of us are contributing as we find stories that really just excite us or we think that you would be excited about. So keep in touch with us that way. Now, as far as top 10 movies of the week, Chef finally dropped out of the top 10, but it's like at number 11 or 12. It's still making money. Edge of Tomorrow is about ready to drop out. 3.6 million, so 90.9 there. Think Like a Man 2, 4.9 million, 57.2. Jersey Boys, 5.2 million, 36.7. This is a movie that has gotten a lot of good press here, kind of typical of Clint Eastwood films, but it just never has really caught on with the public. Is it is it the subject material? Anybody have any idea why?
Crickets.
Actually, to be honest, I've read maybe 3 reviews of it, and they were all like, it's all right.
Yeah.
But as far as musicals go, or things based on stage musicals,
right,
it's not one of the better ones ever.
Okay. Let's move along here, and Maleficent is in at 6.1 million, 213.9. That's number 7. Then you got Earth to Echo. Now, keep in mind this was a holiday weekend here, and Earth to Echo did come out a couple of days beforehand. So over the 4th of July holiday weekend, for a family film, it made 8.2 million, 13.5 million altogether. That's not a good sign.
Well, it doesn't really look like a family film. It doesn't look like, you just look at it and you're like, oh, what is that supposed to be? What is that? That's my general, every time I see anything for it, it's like, what is this?
I know, it's weird that they found footage with it.
Well,
because usually that's like that means horror movie or something crazy.
But the other side of it is the fact that it just looks like an updated E.T. with a robot instead of an alien.
Right. If you want to see this, see E.T. Spielberg.
Go watch E.T. It was a much better film. Up to the top 5, the animated How to Train Your Dragon 2, still making pretty good money, 8.8 million, 140. 22 Jump Street, another 9.4 million, 158.9. Deliver Us from Evil debuts over the weekend, 9.5 million, 15 overall. Not a bad debut for a film that it's one of the few horror-ish or, suspense thriller kind of films that's out right now.
I'm sure it has a pretty minuscule budget.
I'm sure it probably did. Up to number 2, 21.2 million over the 4th of July holiday weekend overall, 32.9 million for the movie Tammy. A movie I still have no urge to see. Anybody getting any good, bad vibes on this? What have we heard?
Most of the reviews I've seen have said that it's pretty bad.
Yeah, same here.
Rough.
Okay, yeah, it just kind of confirms the fact that I never wanted to see it. in a movie I kind of wish I hadn't seen. Transformers: Age of Extinction, number 1, $36.4 million, 174.7, and continuing to grow.
The Bay Train keeps on chugging.
Yes, it does, and he's got another one coming out a little bit later on in the year here.
It's kind of notable, though, not a great holiday weekend. I mean, this is
not really,
typically a big movie weekend, and, like, it did not very good numbers.
Yeah, you think about it, 3 days, holiday weekend, over the July 4th, and the top grossing film made 36.4 over the weekend. That's pretty lackluster overall. Got to talking with our friends down at Amstar about it last night, and they were kind of disappointed so far in what the summer's bringing. They are, and as is a number of other movie chains, it's not just Amstar, they can't wait for August to come around, because here comes Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
So in the meantime, they're kind of raising their hopes on the movie that Jacob and I, sort of, had a chance to watch last night. I watched it. Jacob sort of did. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Gary Oldman, Kerry Russell, Andy Serkis, and others. And I noted, by the way, congratulations to Andy Serkis. You think about the number of people that are in this film, guess who got top billing? Andy.
Nice.
I love it. That's good stuff. Continuation of the evolution of the apes, being led by Caesar, who have come to a tentative peace with humans that have been ravaged by a virus believed to be ape-related. Jacob, I imagine it'll be fairly quick, so we'll start the reviewing with you.
Well, since this was a 10 o'clock showing, and I've had a kind of a lack of sleep over the
And
past
you
few
decided,
days.
for whatever reason, not to take a nap.
I didn't make it all the way through this movie. So I'm not going to give an official review. I will say, if you're into the Planet of the Apes franchise, you'll probably love this movie. If you're not into it, you're probably going to be like, what is all this crap? Like, I don't care about these people. And so, take that for what you will. What I saw of it was pretty.
Yeah.
But, it's a lot of character development for the parts that I actually saw. So,
and that's where I'm going to kind of pick up on where you want to go. Do you want to try and give a rating, or are you just going to leave it kind of incomplete?
Oh, no, I definitely could not give a rating to this movie.
Okay.
I did not see enough of it. I don't know how it ended.
All right. Well, I'll pick up on it from where you're going, because I can kind of understand where, if you were in the position that Jacob was in the fact that you had, had to get up early in the morning, and this is a 10 p.m. showing, and you've never had a nap or anything like that, how you might find it able to doze off, because the first 45 minutes to the hour, it's methodical. It doesn't move quickly. There's a little bit of action here and there, little spurts, but not a whole lot. It really starts to pick up in the second half of the film. What you're dealing with is trying to reestablish the characters, because if you remember the original with James Franco, Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
Yes.
It doesn't pick up immediately after that movie. It sets you forward several years in time. So it's having to reestablish new characters, because all the old characters they've died. I told you about the virus. So you have to reestablish new characters. You have to figure out how the apes have evolved, their habitat, what the human situation is. So it takes itself a little bit too long, maybe, to get that part of the movie rolling. But once it gets rolling, it becomes a pretty good film. And I really enjoyed it. But then again, I like Planet of the Apes kind of films, despite the Mark Wahlberg version. So as much as I liked it, I didn't love it.
Uh-oh.
I'm giving it an 8. I was waffling back and forth on it. It's a very well-done film. It's a very well-written film. It's a very well-acted film. I can't find anything specifically really, really wrong with it, except for the fact that it takes a little bit of time to come up. So, yeah, I don't know as I can place it as a great film, but it's a very good film, and if you have any interest in this genre whatsoever, go see it, because you will enjoy it. And quite frankly, my fantasy league needs the help.
Yeah.
Seen it a couple
times. Don't go watch it at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, or if you're going to go watch it at 10 o'clock, make it the second showing of the day.
Yeah.
Just saying. Other films that are out in limited release, if you want to go check it out, and there's not a whole lot out, quite frankly, you got Boyhood, a film that stars Patricia Arquette and Ethan Hawke, among others.
This movie took 12 years to make.
Boyhood?
Yes.
Wow,
Richard,
really?
Yeah, he filmed this over 12 years.
Holy cow. A film called Land Ho, which stars Pierce Brosnan, Toni Collette, and Aaron Paul in A Long Way Down. In theaters next week, not really a whole lot. You get what's obviously going to be a fairly raunchy comedy, the film Sex Tape. You got the horror thriller film The Purge, Anarchy, and planes, fire, and rescue. So if you want comedy, you're covered. If you want thriller or horror kind of stuff, you're covered. And if you want family, well, you're covered there too. Everything is all involved there. And Josh, welcome in.
What's happening?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
Been a little while since we heard from you. And you were just too lazy to come out and watch Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
But I saw it this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay.
I was on a trip, so I was tired last night.
All right. Well, since you have said it, Jacob had to give it an incomplete because he didn't take a nap in time to watch the 10 p.m. showing, so he fell asleep.
In the movie?
Yes.
What?
I gave it an 8.
I liked it a lot.
Go for it. Yeah, you got time. Go for it.
I thought it was awesome. I liked the the animation was obviously amazing. Andy Serkis is awesome. Anything he's in, I'm there for. I thought the story was well put together, a lot better film than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the action was really awesome. And I enjoyed the general overall of the film. So I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. I'm with you.
Very good.
Solid movie. Not the best movie I've ever seen.
Right.
But definitely worthwhile watch.
There you go. So there you go. 2 of us have said it. That said, got a whole lot of stuff that we got to get to, so we're going to cut this segment short because all the movie news and all the TV news that we got to get to, plus we have found out that the Emmy Awards have released their nominations. We're going to touch on that, and hopefully you've gotten this prepared, Josh, in all of your stuff.
Yes.
Because Ryan came up with an interesting idea for a roundtable topic.
What's that?
At the year end, we do our wrap-up of what we think are our 10 best and our worst. We're going to do a half-year wrap-up. So we're going to kind of come up with the 5 films that we think are the best, and if you happen to have 1 or 2 or 3 that stick out as not being all that good, by all means mention them in the worst side, but that'll be coming up a little bit later on in the show. You're listening to the Entertainment Roundtable right here, Superstation 101 WIDE.
Hope you got your popcorn, because we're back to the Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
As we always do, coming back to a song off of a soundtrack to a film that's either in theaters right now or just coming out. In this case, this will actually play a role in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stick around. Jacob, way to add in there, man.
Jacob's like, oh, it does?
Yes,
interesting.
It does. So yeah, it's right around midway through the film is where you're going to hear this. This is the band with the song called "The Wait."
I was still awake. I was still awake for this point.
Oh, you saw that part? Okay. It was
I was still awake for this part of the movie.
Was it the lilting sounds of Robbie Robertson that put you to sleep?
Yeah, well, you know it. Like butter.
The Robbie Robertson lullaby of The Wait. All right, Jacob, first up, as we get into movie news, we go to you, and more information continues to come out of the camp of Star Wars. For example, they are taking a little bit of a break, but in the meantime, they're also adding to the cast. What do we know?
Yeah, first they're taking a 2-week break in August, which really isn't a big deal.
Harrison Ford knows all about breaking.
Yeah, they should wrap the movie in the fall, which will easily put them on pace for the December 18th, 2015 release.
Yeah, that'll give them a year to put in all the sci-fi or all the special effects stuff that they need to.
But they have added 2 new actors in this. One is Crystal Clark, who both of these are kind of unknown actors, but one is Crystal Clark, who's going to appear in The Moon and the Sun with Pierce Brosnan next year. And the other is a British actor named Pip Anderson, who isn't very well known, but he has recently demonstrated a lot of athletic skill in a Spider-Man ad for Sony. So possibly a Force user, maybe?
Yeah, very possibly. Okay, so they're on track, despite the Harrison Ford breaking of his leg. They're on track for next year.
Yeah, they should be fine.
Very
no problems with that, according to everything they're saying.
So it's still just a break. They didn't have to amputate it or anything. I mean, it kept growing there for the first week or so.
Yeah, it went from a sprain to a fracture, and now it's just a complete break.
Gotcha. Okay, good.
All right, here we go. Let's stick with Disney, Jacob. Their plans to apparently make every single one of their animated classics into live-action films. What's the latest one that's rumored to be getting live treatment?
Yeah, they're going to do a live-action version of the 1941 animated movie Dumbo. Which Transformers franchise writer, and I'm going to butcher this name, Aaron Kruger, is going to pen the script, so he's probably never seen the original Dumbo. Also, Justin Springer, who worked on some fantastic movies like Oblivion, is going to be producing, so this is going, just straight up going to be a hit.
Oblivion wasn't terrible.
I'm with I don't think Oblivion was terrible.
I have yet to see it, but I've got it on my DVR at the house, so it's something I will be watching here shortly.
It's not great, but I like it because of the design and the look of it. I thought it was pretty cool.
See, I've got the two films that came out right about the same time last year that kind of got that meh reaction from moviegoers and at the theater. I've got After Earth, which got a couple of Razzies.
Oh, it was well deserved.
And I have to watch it just because, well, let's face it, it's you got to watch something like that. And I've got Oblivion, so I've got to check those two out, and might try to do that this weekend. All right, let's see. Speaking of adding to the cast, Jacob, we talked about it in Star Wars. In addition to the planned sequel to the Ice Cube Kevin Hart comedy Ride Along, where are we going with this?
Well, it looks like they, in the sequel, Ride Along 2, they're going to be adding Hangover and Community alum Ken Jeong, who will also join Ice Cube and Kevin Hart, who are reprising their roles in this film.
Okay. Ryan, let's go to you. The first trailer for the big-budget Exodus Gods and Kings has hit. First of all, what do you know? And second of all, what do you think?
Yes, sir. It's going to be directed by Ridley Scott. It's a sword and sandals epic about two childhood friends find themselves opposite sides of the brutal war, Moses versus Ramses. If you know the book of Exodus, you kind of know where this is going. And this is going to hit theaters everywhere on December the 12th, and you got Christian Bale, Joel Edgerton, Sigourney Weaver, Aaron Paul, Ben Kingsley, among others. I like the trailer. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It was in the trailers before Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Did you get the chance to see that?
I've seen it like 100 times.
Okay, tell me your thoughts, Josh.
Amazing.
Yeah?
Goodness.
Okay.
I'm finally like, this is like the way you should treat epic Bible stories, not like Noah where they goofed it up.
Well, and here's my question. I'm wondering how much they're going to play with it. We haven't gotten a whole lot of the plot. We've gotten a little bit of an idea of the plot.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if, and I don't think that they're going to go so overboard like they did with Noah, but...
I don't think they're going to go too far off reservation as far as like the biblical text. I mean, I'm sure they'll take a lot of creative liberties, which I don't think that like the faith crowd will have a problem with if it's like a little lenient,
right?
Like creative liberty. But I mean, I think it's more about like the overall message of whatever it is, off topic.
Well, and I will say this: at least we didn't see the placard come up during their based upon a Bible story.
Yeah, this looks great though. I'm Christian Bale as Moses. I'm a huge fan of the cartoon Prince of Egypt. So
it's really good. I like it too.
That was my one thing. I'm like, it better be at least as good as Prince of Egypt.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Ridley Scott taking on this story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Oh,
Plus, I mean, let's be honest, Moses. The story of Moses and the plagues and you know, the Israelites coming out of Egypt,
pretty awesome.
Much more cinematic than the flood.
For me, there was one thing that bothered me about it is the subtitle to it, Gods and Kings. I think I would have preferred to drop the S off of God.
Well, I think it's the gods of. I don't think I took offense to it. I mean, you have like the Egyptian gods as a big part of the story.
I understand that, but still, it's the story of God and how he, gets his people out of there. And Jacob, we'll go to you and kind of transition into the next one here. First of all, your thoughts on the trailer for Exodus.
I'm a little nervous with all of because it looks very different from the story, the actual Bible story. But I mean, visually, it looks fantastic.
Okay, and of course, faith-based films being big, Noah, Exodus, and apparently Ridley Scott has decided that his next film after Exodus also going to be faith-based or Bible-based.
Yeah, he wants to do David and Goliath for his next film.
So good.
So I missed that this was in the rundown, and so I don't have this printed out. So that's all the details I have for you.
Yeah, but
no, it's just script form. I think right now. I think they just are. I think that could be an amazing story if done right. Amazing story.
Yeah, this actually could be a pretty cool movie if they do this one right. This one could be a good.
I can see a lot of dramatic license coming in here because I mean we know a little bit of the backstory of David. Some we don't know any of the backstory of Goliath. He just kind of shows up and all of a sudden gets smacked in the head with a rock.
Well, I really hope it's not actually about just David and Goliath. I hope it's just about David's life story because that would be awesome.
I would like a little bit of background on Goliath just to kind of see where they might go with it. Just kind of curiosity of my own.
They were childhood friends. Now they must face each other in the field of battle.
Wait a minute. I've heard that plot before.
I know, right?
You would think they'd have to do a little more than that because I mean the actual David and Goliath story is just really not that long. I mean, how are you going to stretch that into 2 hours?
Or Goliath was a gentle giant forced to join the army.
Exactly.
The tragedy of Goliath.
That's the name of the film, actually.
I like it. There we go. All right. Mentioned it just a few minutes ago and how most movie theater chains across the country are looking forward to this. And we have the new extended trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. Who would like to start?
Me.
Jeff.
I'm so fired up for this movie. I am so pumped. I mean, it looks like everything that I hoped it would be. Rocket
Yeah?
Raccoon's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
You were in on this from the very beginning, and you've only gotten more and more excited as you've seen more and more trailers come
Exactly.
out.
Well, yeah, the biggest bump on the road was when they announced Bradley Cooper was doing Rocket, because I was like, there's 10,000 people who can do this, but he's nailing it.
He is nailing
It's
it, I would
great.
agree. Josh?
I would cut my right arm off to see this film,
You may not have to do that.
but I think I'll just buy the ticket instead. It looks so good, man. Every time I see another trailer, I just get more pumped. So good.
Jacob?
Awesome.
I would take Josh's right arm and beat myself to the point of the brink of death to watch this film.
This has become a very violent radio
Wow.
show.
Take the rock from David, and all of a sudden we're beating ourselves with it. Ryan, you probably have been one of the more reserved when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy. Have you changed your mind? Are you getting more excited? You still kind of reserved on it? What?
No, you're right. In the beginning, I was very on the fence about it. Didn't think it was going to work. I still think it's the riskiest project Marvel's ever done in their entire lives. But at the same time, new trailer, I'm digging it. I like it. I want to see where it goes. So the last few trailers have been a lot better than the early stuff we've seen.
I got to talking with our friends down at Amstar again, and he says that because of the fact that this is one of the lesser known of the Marvel entities, he feels like this one will be a sleeper. He thinks that this is easy a $200 million film.
Yeah, like Jacob said, or Ryan's pointed out, this is Marvel's biggest risk so far. It's going to be interesting to see if the brand can get people in to start with, because, Guardians of the Galaxy, who's that?
Yeah, nobody knows him.
Well, but when you look at it, I mean, look at the Avengers roster. Who knew who the Avengers roster's characters were before the Marvel movies? Who could have, pointed, Thor out?
But they have done a fantastic job of setting it up before they threw us in with the Avengers. I mean,
Right.
you think about the separate films that just built up this frothing desire to want to see more, and then all of a sudden you throw all four of them together, and boom, it becomes a $600 million film. I don't know as Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be like that, but
No.
I think $200 million is probably
Yeah.
easily attainable for this film. Let's turn serious here. Ben Affleck's got a film coming out later this year. It's called Gone Girl. We've seen the trailers. Jeff, you've seen the trailer?
Yes, I have.
Let's start with you.
I'm looking forward to this. David Fincher back. I mean, pretty much anything he wants to direct, I'll check it out. This one looks like another great thriller coming from Fincher and Company, man.
Josh.
Okay, I've got obsessed with this movie for some reason. I'm a huge Fincher fan.
Yeah.
Love all his movies. They're a little dark. Love House of Cards. Thought when I saw the casting for me at first I was like, what the crap? You have Neil Patrick Harris,
Yeah.
Tyler Perry, Ben Affleck, and a David Fincher film. It's like a bad joke.
It's like
But when
somebody
you-
pulled all the names out of a hat and said, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah,
But you watch it and you're like, that works.
Mhm.
Tyler Perry works. He looks like a serious cop. Neil Patrick Harris seems creepy.
Mhm.
I guess I looked back and I researched the book, and I guess it's roughly, very very roughly based off the Scott Peterson trial. And if you look up like pictures of Scott Peterson, he has an eerie similarity to Ben Affleck.
I would agree with
in
that.
looks.
Right.
I guess it's not exactly based off of it, but
Probably
I
not.
think this trailer looks awesome.
Ryan, you seen it?
Yeah, I have seen the trailer. I may not be drinking all of Fincher's Kool-Aid because I don't think he's that great of a director. I mean, he's good, but I wouldn't put him in top 5 of all time, Jack. But at the same time, Gone Girl, I'm in. It's eerie. It's mysterious. Did he do it? Did he not do it? I can't wait to see this one.
Jacob?
I'm always up for a good mystery thriller, so yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I got caught by the plot almost immediately because you think about somebody in a couple disappearing. The first person that you look to is the spouse, and he's proclaiming his innocence. I'll be very interested to see where it goes. So yeah, looking forward to it. Another trailer you found, Jacob. This one is a Ryan Reynolds film. Rosario Dawson in there as well. It's entitled The Captive. What do you know?
Well, it's kind of similar to Gone Girl. Basically, Ryan Reynolds takes his daughter out. They go somewhere. I forget where they are, but he goes to do something. He turns around. The girl's gone. Been captured. They call the police, and the police investigate. He's obviously a suspect, and then things kind of change when they find in the house that there's surveillance equipment hidden all throughout the household. And it goes from there. And actually, surprisingly, despite the fact that it has Ryan Reynolds, actually looks pretty good.
Anybody else seen it?
Nope.
I didn't see the trailer, no, sir.
I have to admit, I wanted to, but I didn't get the opportunity, unfortunately.
I feel that I
fairly
failed.
quick. Ryan, anything?
I have not seen this trailer.
Okay. Of the two, with the two similar plots, though, judging by the cast and having seen the preview for it, Gone Girl is the leader in the clubhouse, but I'll reserve total judgment until I actually watch the trailer.
Having seen both, I mean, if you can only spend your money on one of the two, see Gone Girl.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you just have one of Josh's arms.
Yeah, exactly. Which one do you want to give up, by the way? Jacob, it looks like pretty much we're going to you all the time, but everybody feel free to comment as you will. Plans for a proposed Clerks 3. I love the first two Clerks films. Of course, the language in there is a little bit heavy, so it wouldn't bother me if there was a third. Can we get one?
Well, it looks like the Weinstein Company has passed on Clerks 3, saying that the budgetary issues were the problems. He wanted $6 million, and they were like, no, that's too much. The Weinsteins still own the rights to the series, but they just aren't going to put that much money up for
the
it.
Weinsteins balked at a $6 million budget? Yeah. Seriously, they balked at a $6 million budget.
That's like a penny compared to millions of studios in this country.
Yeah, so they did offer to distribute the film, but they weren't going to actually put the money forward. So
I'm sorry, they put Clerks 3 out. I'm going to see it.
You know what? We'll work on the profit end, but the investment side, not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
But I mean, Smith is known for self-releasing his own films, so I mean, this is not. I mean, it's not like it's dead in the water.
I'd love to see it come about. We last saw Harry Potter on film back in 2007. Word is another Potter book may be coming out soon. Jacob, is that meaning we're going to get another film?
Well, it's not quite a book. It's more of a short story that it was posted on the Pottermore website, which is kind of the Harry Potter fan site. But J.K. Rowling wrote a new 1,500-word piece about Harry Potter, and basically it's in the future, Harry Potter is around 34 years old, and basically him and all of the the Hogwarts crew are getting back together for the Quidditch World Cup finals, and it's going to be told from the eyes of Rita Skeeter, the Daily Prophet reporter. So not necessarily anything that has been said that they're going to turn this into any kind of movie, but it's Harry Potter, so,
There's a chance.
There's at least about an 80% chance it'll become some kind of film.
I could see them doing like, Marvel does the Marvel shorts.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5-6 minute little thing to stick on like
Maybe.
the Harry Potter 20th anniversary Blu-ray
There you
box
go.
set.
That actually wouldn't be bad.
Right.
All right. Let's see here. Where are we going next? Jacob, how about a film called The Conjuring? What do you know?
Well, they're making a spinoff called Annabelle, and it has gotten a release date. It's coming out October 3rd, same weekend as David Fincher's Gone Girl.
Creepy.
That is weird. I think I'll go with Gone Girl.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go there, too.
Yeah, go see Gone Girl.
It seems rather tenuous, but a connection between Dan Rather and Robert Redford. I mean, both of them politically are kind of aligned on the very far left side of things, but otherwise, is there a connection, Jacob?
Well, Robert Redford is going to play Dan Rather in a new movie called Truth with Cate Blanchett, who is going to play Dan Rather's former producer, Mary Mapes, basically over the whole Rathergate scandal, where they reported on something about George W. Bush that was not accurate and basically killed his career.
So they're going to call the film Truth.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. So we go from there to a movie that will star Jim Belushi and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, it's probably the weirdest casting news that I've seen in a while. Jim Belushi has joined the cast of The Whole Truth with Keanu Reeves and Renee Zellweger. Keanu Reeves, who's replaced Daniel Craig in this movie, is going to play the attorney of a 17-year-old.
Okay, wait, whoa. Who
replaced Daniel Craig?
Who in the world said, okay, Daniel Craig can't do it? Let's get Keanu Reeves.
I don't know, but I'd like to find out.
Basically the same.
It's the same person who keeps putting Keanu Reeves in movies, at all. Like, how he gets parts, I don't know. But he's going to play the attorney of a 17-year-old murder suspect, Mike Lasseter, because, of course, Keanu Reeves could play an attorney. Why not? Belushi is going to play Mike's father, and Zellweger plays the mother.
This sounds like something I'm just ripe to miss.
They would do better to just exhume John Belushi and have him play the role than have Jim Belushi
do
involved.
just as well. By the way, welcome in, David.
Right. First thing out of his mouth, a little bitter.
Yes. We're not a fan.
It's not my fault Jim Belushi sucks.
Well, and then you put in Keanu Reeves.
And I mean, that's well stated across the board. It's
Yeah.
not just me, so I don't feel too bad.
Ryan, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I don't think Belushi's that bad. I mean, compared to Keanu Reeves, he's better. But at the same time, if I'm reading this right, I remember hearing a story about Craig supposed to be in like a courtroom kind of film that's kind of like this, and then he punched out. Dude, they should have brought Daniel Craig back. You replace him with a guy who can barely act his way out of a paper bag? Give me a break.
I'm not even sure he can.
Let's give Keanu Reeves a little bit of leeway here. He's trying to make one final sweep before he's, appearing in dog food commercials.
And he has put an attorney before in Devil's Advocate.
That's true.
That's true.
And
weird film.
Yeah, very odd film. All right, a couple more things here. Jacob, apparently Chris Columbus is thinking about either remaking or rebooting or coming up with sequels of a couple of 80s films. Which ones?
Okay, Chris Columbus is actually signed on to do sequels, and they have this is updated to they're actually sequels to both Gremlins and The Goonies. So, and since he's written the screenplays for both of the originals, so.
Okay, let's go around here. You're immediately going, what in the world,
What
Jeff?
The No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Where to go? Come on.
Why even? Now, you said sequels or reboot? What?
Sequels,
They're
correct?
both sequels.
How long has it been?
You're not gonna
Goonies came out in what? 30 years ago?
Yeah. Leave the Goonies alone.
And Gremlins 2 came out
And it's
in
not-
88, 89?
I mean, I could see making another movie set with Gremlins because, you can go crazy. But you're not going to top Gremlins 2 as far as just...
Well, and you could continue the story because, let's face it, Gizmo's, you don't need to bring back Phoebe Cates and all those people.
I don't know. I do want to know what holiday tragedy she has for this one.
Well, sure, she's got one always, so, it wouldn't bother me if she came back. But it just seems so late.
If they did sort of a mixture of a sequel, like Goonies and Drop Dead Fred in the same movie.
Or Goonies Meet the Gremlins.
Goonies Meet the Gremlins. I was wondering if we were going to go there. That could be an interesting one. One more time here, and Jacob, to you on this one. Very news-heavy week. We're dealing with the Coen brothers. They got a film out called Hail Caesar. Talked about it last week. A couple of people have been added to the cast. Who?
Yeah, we've got Scarlett Johansson and Jonah Hill in Hail Caesar, who is going to join Channing Tatum, George Clooney, Josh Brolin, Tilda Swinton, Ralph Fiennes, or however you pronounce his name. I always forget.
Fiennes.
Fine,
Yeah.
that's it.
And it's Ray.
Let's see. Johansson is going to play an actress who becomes pregnant just before production begins on a major movie. Hill his role is yet to. We don't know yet.
I'm in.
Oh yeah,
It's Coen brothers. And then you
Coen
got that
brothers,
cast.
I'm
Yeah, I'm in.
They don't even have to give me a premise anymore.
Yeah.
I know. Coen Brothers new film coming out.
We're good. Got to take a break. When we come back, we'll deal with Blu-ray. We'll deal with television. We got the rundown of the Fantasy League, and we got a roundtable topic of best and worst so far in 2014. Let's see how much of that we can get to next.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, the Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
I didn't have the theme music to the rebooted Battlestar Galactica, and the only other one that I actually had the music for was Community, which we've done twice here over the past month or so I just went with this one. Hopefully we'll get to it all. First of all, let's talk about what's coming out on Blu-ray next Tuesday. A couple of movies, really only a couple. Animated film Rio 2 and the Scarlett Johansson film Under the Skin. As far as TV series collectors, only got 2 of them there as well. Season 3 of Hell on Wheels, Season 2 of Orphan Black. We just got word of a film that you know quite a bit about, Mom's Night Out. That's
right.
Not supported very well by Sony. You and I had the chance to talk about that a couple of nights ago when it was out in theaters. It is going to get a second life. It'll come out on DVD
That's right.
September the 2nd.
That's correct.
Can you take pre-orders right now?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go on, or Christian bookstores, I know, are doing a lot of deals and specials and stuff.
Real quick,
Yes.
The budget for the film was what?
The budget for the film was about $4 million.
And in theaters, it made just over 10. I saw it earlier on
correct.
today, so at least they were able
Yeah,
to do
we were
that,
profitable.
and they're already working on their next film.
That's correct.
Can't wait for details when
That'll
you're
be pretty
allowed
soon.
to give them.
The Weinsteins might even give you some funding.
That's true.
Yeah, really. No kidding. Well, no, they're not going to do Clerks 3. So, Jacob, let's start with you here real quick because you actually have a TV review.
Yes, I watched the first 2 episodes of HBO's The Leftovers. It is done by Damon Lindelof of Lost. It stars Frank Hartz, Justin Theroux, Liv Tyler, Amy Brenneman, Christopher Eccleston. Basically, premise of the story is a bunch of people just disappear all of a sudden. They flash forward 3 years later, and it's basically everyone trying to pick up the pieces of their lives after, all these people go missing.
It doesn't sound like a
Population.
terribly original plot. How is it executed?
It's actually pretty well. They set up a lot of mystery. There's a lot of twists and turns. It's a very Lost-esque plot. I enjoyed it a lot. We do it out of 5 stars, right?
On TV, yes, we do.
I'm giving it a 3.5. It's pretty good.
All right.
I'll second that. It was really good.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Lindelof said he's not going to ever explain what happened to the people.
They just done up and
Or
disappeared.
what caused this rapture, so I'm not going to watch any more of it. I'm sick of Lindelof. I'm done with him altogether.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Smack. So you get no explanation and you're out.
Yep, I'm done.
All right.
Woo.
Gotcha.
I'm not lost in again.
He's a psychopath, man.
Don't hold back,
They were
man.
good, though, what I saw.
A couple of news stories over at the Fox Network, and we'll start with you, Jacob. Their soon-to-end show, Glee. They changed the order for the final season about the number of episodes?
Yeah, originally they were going to do 24, but they've cut back to just 13 after season 5 had some ratings issues, and they will all run consecutively in the mid-season.
That was very politically correct of you. They had some ratings issues. The ratings tanked.
Yeah, it was, they did awful.
David, over to you. Sticking with that network, they have announced the debut of some of their 2014-2015 shows. The breakout hit Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We know when that'll debut. We know the first night that Gotham will show up. Some of the others. Hit the highlights for us.
Utopia will air its first 3 episodes on Sunday, September 7th, Tuesday, September 9th, and Friday, September 12th. Hell's Kitchen is going to be in the middle of the week, Wednesday, September 10th. New Girl and the Mindy Project are back on Tuesday, September 16th. Red Band Society, about kids who bond during extended stints at the same hospital, premieres Wednesday, September 17th. Monday, September 22nd, we'll get the Batman prequel series Gotham and the extended second season of Sleepy Hollow. And Bones enters this 10th season on Thursday, September 25th. Some of my ink got smeared here. It looks like September 28th with The Simpsons and the Family Guy crossover airing at 8 and 9, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine moving to 8:30 that night.
It's moving to Sundays, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Grace Point that's the show based off of the British show Broadchurch, joins Bones on Thursday night starting October 2nd, and Mulaney is October 5th.
Okay. So basically, you've got over the course of a month's time the chance to check out all the Fox Network shows because they're not doing it in one specific week. Over to CBS, a favorite show of Ryan's, The Good Wife. And Ryan, since it's one of your favorites, let's go ahead and go to you. You're hearing about a person who guest starred some years ago who's coming back to the cast?
Apparently so. Tay Diggs is going to guest star on The Good Wife as Dean Levine Wilkins, a meticulous, talented equity partner at Lockhart Gardner, decides to accompany Christine Baranski's character, Diane Lockhart, to Floric Agos, the other firm. It's going to return for its new season on Sunday night, September the 21st at 9/8 Central, only CBS.
CBS also has a network comedy called The Millers. Jacob, to you, they've got a cast edition. Who have they got coming on board?
Yeah, they're bringing on Emmy winner Sean Haynes. He will play Kip Withers, who is Carol Miller, the mother of the show, her new best friend, and a new source of friction for Will Arnett's character, Nathan. He'll be introduced during the season's Series 2 premiere on October 30th.
All right. Ryan, back to you. ABC, the show Once Upon a Time, apparently going back into the frozen waters again. Pardon the pun. What for this time?
Yes, sir. They have cast Fringe alum Georgiana Hegg in the season role of Queen Elsa of Arendelle, if you remember the animated film Frozen, and it's going to debut its new season later on this fall. I believe it's in September on ABC.
All right. David, over to you. NBC, they got a drama called Constantine, but they're undergoing some casting changes. What's up?
Oh, that was going to Jacob. I don't actually have it with me.
All right.
You sent me a message that it was Jacob's.
Jacob, to you.
Hey, you didn't tell me that I needed to have this, so I don't have that one.
Who knows it?
They're replacing their lead actress, and they're going to go with Zed instead, which is a character based on the comic books.
Okay, so they're not straying too far away from the story then.
They're not. They're just writing out an extraneous person they threw in for no reason at all.
All right. Well,
that's good.
No big problem there. To the CW network, they got their hit show Arrow continuing to add cast members. And Ryan, let's go to you first, because apparently they're looking to add a person that we know that has portrayed Superman in the past.
Yes, sir. If you remember Superman Returns, Brandon Routh is going to take on the role of Ray Palmer, also known as the Atom, and he will be taking part in Arrow's third season, and I cannot wait because bringing in Superman Legacy alums is always a good thing.
All right. Speaking of Arrow, which stars Stephen Amell, whose brother Robbie had the show Tomorrow People on the network last season. That show's gone. Robbie is back. Jacob, how?
Yeah. They've cast Robbie in The Flash. He will play Ronnie Raymond, better known to DC Comics fans as half of the character Firestorm. He's going to play a maintenance worker at Star Labs with Dr. Caitlin Snow's fiance, who plays an integral part in the particle accelerator accident that transforms Barry Allen into the Flash.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I like the character Firestorm is kind of cool, but at the same time, they'll never actually realize him the way he should be on this show.
Probably not.
With that budget.
And where's the other half? Is my next question. Are they going to have the other half in this show, or in the beginning, or is it going to come later? And that kind of thing.
Well, what's the point? It's not going to be John Noble because he's a full cast member on Sleepy Hollow. So
yeah.
Well, hey, he's a working man. What do you want? Over to cable, Jacob, the FX show American Horror Story Freak Show. This is what, season 3 of this?
I believe so.
No, this is season 4.
This is season 4? Okay. If you are familiar with the Hunger Games, the first film, they've signed on an actor you might be familiar with. Who?
They've signed on Wes Bentley, who played Seneca Crane in The Hunger Games. He is going to be on the next season. He will play Eddie, a tormentor from Kathy Bates' character's past who is seeking revenge, and appear in the Halloween 2-part episode.
Okay. I'm going to kind of jump around here just real quick because time is of the essence here, but I wanted to get some of the ones that we didn't get to last week. Ryan, a show that you remember quite well, a show about a dude rancher, which is entitled, appropriately, Hey Dude. It only lasted 2 seasons, but amazingly enough, we're up to the 25th anniversary. They have plans to celebrate this?
Yes, sir. Monday night on July the 14th at midnight, they're going to re-air some of the classic episodes as well as all new interviews, bringing the cast together for a very special reunion.
What network?
It's going to be on Teen Nick.
All right. Jacob, I find this interesting because we talked within recent weeks about the fact that Pacific Rim 2 has been greenlit, but there's going to be a bridge to get us from the Pacific Rim that we saw to the Pacific Rim that we're going to see. What's the bridge?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, Pacific Rim 2 is far away. It's not coming out until 2017.
Right.
So to get us from one movie to the next, they're creating an animated series that will basically bridge the two, that basically will take part in between the first and the second movie. Don't have a network yet, but they are shopping it around.
Okay. Skipping down to the British show Sherlock, which stars Benedict Cumberbatch. Good news and some bad news here, Jacob. It's quite a while until the 4th season debuts, but you're going to get something to tide you over?
Well, kind of. Basically, in 2015, there will be a Christmas special for Sherlock, which will be 90 minutes. They've said it's going to be a full, just like every other Sherlock episode. And then in early 2016, you will get the 4th season of Sherlock, which is another 3-episode season.
Okay. Jacob, on this one, the guy who played Gaius Baltar in the rebooted Battlestar Galactica on the Sci-Fi series some years ago, he's back on TV, kind of, sort of. Where and how and what role?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for throwing this out, a Battlestar Galactica reference, because I don't know. I've never watched Battlestar Galactica, so I had to look this up to even figure out who you were talking about. But okay, James Callis has been cast in the show Matador for Robert Rodriguez El Rey Network. Basically, the show is going to show the unlikely rise of Antonio Matador Bravo, a popular soccer star who in reality uses his sports career for a cover as a skilled covert operative executing missions for a little-known branch of the CIA.
Where is this showing up?
Something called the El Rey Network.
Okay. Does anybody get that?
Did you say something about Rodriguez?
That's what the From Dusk Till Dawn TV show is on.
Yeah.
that network.
Okay. So you get it.
I don't, but I just know that. I was giving y'all a point of reference.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
And
He just knows what it is.
In the 100, that CW show about the Earth future, they send the kids down to the. Everybody lives on the.
Is James Callis in the 100? Ryan, I think you watch that, don't you?
Darn right I do.
Is James Callis in it?
I believe he is. I just forget what role he plays.
He's sort of like one of the higher ups in the government on the space station. Or something.
So he's going to be a working fool as well. And well, we might as well talk about Community. Is it on? Is it off? Whatever. Not going to get a second life on Hulu, but it is going to get a sixth season. Apparently, Yahoo Screen is teaming up with Sony Pictures Television to run 13 episodes. They're going to launch in the fall. The cast will return as well, the director and the executive producers. So if you're into Community, start watching Yahoo. They will let you know all about it. Ryan, you let me know about the Emmy Awards. Released their annual list of nominees, the upcoming 66th annual Emmy Awards ceremony, which, if you're interested, August 25th, NBC. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details here, but looking at the nominees, Outstanding Drama and Outstanding Comedy, cable is just dominating here. The drama category, you got AMC's Breaking Bad and Mad Men. You got either premium cable or things like Hulu or Netflix with Game of Thrones, House of Cards, True Detective, and PBS's Downton Abbey. There's not one. Just commenting on this totally, there's not one broadcast network represented on the drama side.
Mm-mm.
Is that because they just don't have anything of quality, or is this just a transition that the Emmy Awards has been going to?
Yes.
Okay.
Both.
Well, and I don't think that any of the broadcast networks has anything of this caliber. I mean, I think they have
Hannibal.
good stuff,
Hannibal.
but not this caliber.
Hannibal. I'll say I'm Team Hannibal, man.
Yeah.
What a snub.
Snubbed.
I'll give you credit for that. That's they got a good one there.
All right. As for comedy, cable rules again not quite as dominant. FX's Louie, premium cable, or pay like Netflix or Hulu again. Orange is the New Black. You got Silicon Valley. You got Veep. But you do have two network shows, ABC's Modern Family and CBS's The Big Bang Theory. I probably won't watch it. I will wake up the next morning and look at the results, and we'll pass it along to you here on the Entertainment Roundtable. Right, let's run down the latest here when it comes to before we get to the roundtable topic and talk about what's going on in the fantasy league that we got going on. Jeff not only walked in and jumped in with both feet, he has dominated. All four of the films that he's got are well over $100 million. He is the leader.
Stink.
$615.5 million this guy has made out of his four films. Sitting in second is Josh, 505.2. Then in third, you got Jacob jumping up there with 410.1. Jacob, what put you over the top there, man?
I think that Maleficent still continues. Maleficent and Edge of
216.
Tomorrow continues to make money.
That's 92. Plus Tammy came out, gave you 41, and Think Like a Man 2 at 58. That drops me down to third place, $370 million, but I do have this weekend's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes coming out, so
Which
maybe
will do
I
good.
can make some
like
some semblance of a
$4
resurgence.
million Thursday, so you should be okay.
Yeah, Ryan, $265.4 million for you. You got Hercules coming out next week and still waiting on SimCity, A Dame to Kill For. And David, you've only got 2 films out in theaters, so you're in last place right now at $243.3 million. But next weekend, you got 2 films, Sex Tape and Planes, Fire and Rescue. Plus, you still got the Expendables in your back pocket.
I haven't even seen one of the ones that's come out that's on my list.
You have not seen any of the films?
No, I haven't seen one of them. I saw
Oh.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, really.
I liked it.
But it did well, $200 million for him. All right.
Good movie.
All right, here we go. Roundtable topic. Ryan, you came up with the idea, so you're going to lead off on this. Top and kind of bottom movies here, and instead of doing really a top 10, if you've got several, that's fine. Just kind of run them down of your top films and some that you don't think that you like that much. Since it was your idea, Ryan, we're in the midway point of the year, so we'll give a midway point of viewing for ourselves. What do you think was your top of 2014 so far, Ryan?
All right, I would probably put these in order. I go with X-Men Days of Future Past. Below that is Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier. Below that would probably be the Lego Movie, Godzilla, and Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay, worst?
Worst films, Bayhem, Transformers 4. You lost me $12, man. I want my money back, Michael.
I understand. Jeff, where you want to go with this?
No, I think I got like 3 of them. I think Transformers was one of my least favorite. Maleficent, that dropped the ball big time. That could have been a lot better. And The Amazing Spider-Man 2, that's one of my least favorite films of the year. So many expectations, and they went downhill.
Gotcha. Jeff?
Her Lego Movie 300, Grand Budapest Hotel, and Captain America, my favorites, and Amazing Spider-Man's the lone stinker so far.
Big time. Okay. Josh?
I got 7 good and 6 bad.
Real quick.
Lego Movie, Fault in Our Stars, How to Train Your Dragon, X-Men Days of Future Past, Edge of Tomorrow, Grand Budapest Hotel, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Worst?
Bad, 300, Transcendence, Godzilla, Spider-Man 2, Blended, and Maleficent.
Jacob, real quick. Best and worst. What do you got?
Best, Captain America, Edge of Tomorrow, X-Men, Lego Movie. Worst, I've got Transformers and Pompeii.
All right. David, unfortunately, came in a little bit late, so he hasn't got his list prepared. Don't worry about it. My best movie so far, in just what I remember as ranking, in number 5 actually is Mom's Night Out. Number 4 was America, the Dinesh D'Souza film. 3 was Edge of Tomorrow. 2, Lego Movie, and 1, Captain America. My bottom 3 so far: 3, Transformers Age of Extinction was horrible. 2 was Noah, and the worst film of the year so far for me is Pompeii. So there you go. That's our halfway through the year review. Ryan, thank you so much. We'll look forward to your Dawn of the Planet of the Apes review next week.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on the show. You guys take care.
We'll do it. Jacob, Josh, David, Jeff, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll do it again next week.